Yes, what you just saw there was Letizia telling the future king of Spain to go fuck himself. I didn't, it's fuck you or fuck himself. That in the middle of a state banquet dinner honoring the Uruguayan president. Everybody at the table saw that. And everybody pretended not to have seen that. Everybody heard it, yet everybody pretended not to have heard it, in spite of the fact that she continued saying it. I just didn't want to play the whole thing because it's actually quite embarrassing. And that's not the only time that this woman has done stuff like this. She also, when she went abroad, I don't know, I think it was Mexico or something like that, the president came to greet her and shook her hand softly because he was being a gentleman. And then she said something along, shake, you know, you don't have any balls the way you shake your hands. This is, I think she was already queen. Now, it is incredible that the whole of Spain is choosing to censor what's happening with Letizia, her cheating, the lapses of by the security, by the bodyguards, and the ramifications and implications it may have that she may have fathered, or she may have had given birth to one of Jaime del Burgo's children, which could be Leonor. This whole thing brings down the house of Spain, the royal family of Spain, and the fact that she still believes that she can show her face and nothing happens goes to show you the levels of narcissism, psychopathy, and violence. Because yes, according to Mr. Jaime Peñafiel, the gentleman who wrote the book, he claims that Letizia is also a very violent, abusive, violent woman who physically attacks her partners. So let's get into this video, beautiful people. Letizia was supposed to have sent this screenshot. This is, she's married. She's pregnant with Leonor there, the firstborn of her and supposedly, allegedly, King Felipe, the now King Felipe of Spain. This is the princess. Let's say she's a new bride because she's pregnant with her first child, sending a selfie in a loo, from a loo to her lover, hoping and wishing to reunite with him, wearing his pashmina, you know, the scarf that he gave her, because that made her feel close to him, and she was counting the hours until they met again. This is newly married to King Felipe, Prince Felipe at the time of Spain. She was pregnant, allegedly, and I have to say allegedly, with his firstborn, which is Infanta Leonor, who I happen to adore and is a beautiful young lady. But I have to say allegedly, because if this woman is sending pictures from a loo to her lover, counting the hours until she met with him again, chances are that she was screwing with him at the same time as she was being with Felipe. So, you know, I met Prince Felipe of Spain years ago. He was a lovely man. When he was still prince, he wasn't even married. I think he was going out with his first girlfriend. Lovely guy. And I met him and Letizia in La Zarzuela in Spain years later. He was still not king, but I met him at the Zarzuela because of my former job. She was then a very rude person, incredibly rude, incredibly condescending, a know-it-all, and not very attractive person whatsoever. Now, the scandal for all of you who don't know about this is that she was having a relationship with Jaime del Burgo from 2002 till 2004. When she got together, she was having a relationship with 3 men at that time: Jaime del Burgo, Prince Felipe, and another news reporter. And according to Jaime del Burgo and Mr. Jaime Peñafiel, who wrote the book, and they say they have all the receipts, audios, pictures, everything. Letizia was pregnant not by Jaime del Burgo nor Prince Felipe, but by the third man. And she had an abortion in October 2002. Now, a lot of people are confused about something. In Spain, even though since 1985 abortion was legal, it was only legal under 3 circumstances: whether the woman's health was in danger, whether it was a high probability that there was something wrong with the fetus, or that the pregnancy was a result of a crime. Letizia did not meet any of those 3 requirements, which means she committed an illegal act. Apparently, she was also, when she went to Mexico, she had affairs with married men and she got pregnant by one of them, and she had to leave Mexico in a hurry because in Mexico it was illegal to have abortions back when she was going out with all these men. Apparently, she was dating a bunch of men all together at once. What I'm getting about this, it doesn't matter her story, her history when she was single, but it gives an insight into what type of woman she was, because a leopard does not, change its stripes. So if Letizia displayed a pattern of not being able to be faithful, loyal to a man, a single man, it is highly unlikely that she would change that pattern after marrying Felipe. She had been married before, and the marriage didn't last. But the reason why we know about the abortion in 2002 is because Felipe and Letizia asked her cousin, and this is by him, by the way, to go get the documentation from the clinic and destroy it. He went and got that because neither Felipe nor Letizia wanted to be seen around. And it makes me wonder whether Letizia told Felipe that the child was his. You see, even though abortion is legal I have to say something. In 2010, the law was amended in Spain. It was no longer restrictive to those 3 conditions. That was changed in 2010. But Letizia had her abortion in 2002, and she had an abortion also. Well, she had 2 because she fled Mexico to Spain to go have an abortion, or someplace to go have an abortion because in Mexico was illegal. And then she had a second abortion that we know of in October 2002 in Spain. And the problem with that is that the Catholic Church does not approve of abortion. It's considered a crime. So most likely Letizia would have never been allowed to marry in the Catholic Church, let alone be a representative of the faith, because as Queen of Spain, Queen Consort of Spain, she is the face of the church. So I think she would have, please correct me if I'm wrong, but she would have even been excommunicated because that is not allowed under Catholic faith. That is a mortal sin. So, but Felipe knew that she had done that, and he kept it from the church. That's fraud in itself. She made him an accomplice. Whether she lied to him that the child was his because he didn't know that she was having sex with Jaime del Burgo and then this other newspaper reporter, we will never know. But if he told him, because David Rocasolano, who is Letizia's cousin, the one who actually made the papers public of her abortion, states that Felipe asked him to do it. So Felipe knew about it. So Felipe was already an accomplice to a crime, to commit fraud against the Spanish state and the crown by not disclosing that Letizia had an abortion, which would disqualify her from ever being queen and from marrying him in the Catholic Church. That is a crime against the crown. That is fraud. But hey, let's put that aside. They get married in 2004, I believe. And according to Jaime del Burgo, they were still having sex, clearly, because she's sending him pictures from the loo. For those of you who don't know what the loo, from the toilet, while pregnant with with a child, telling her lover that she was counting the hours until she saw him again, that she was wearing the scarf he gave her so she could feel him near her. This is while being a new bride. According to Jaime del Burgo, she was very violent to her lover, the one that she had an abortion. She aborted the child, in 2002, because that was another newspaper reporter that she was having a relationship with while being with Jaime del Burgo and while dating Felipe. I guess she wanted to keep all her options open in case Felipe didn't propose. Now, it is actually people, and the thing in Spain, the reason that the Spanish press are claiming, or there's auto censorship in the press, is because they think that that's a personal matter between couples. No. If Felipe and Letizia were their average Joe, yeah, that's their personal, who cares? But this is the chief, he is the head of state of Spain. Their marriage has constitutional implications, especially because nobody wants to ask the horrible question, which is legitimate, whether Leonor, not the youngest one, because very clearly Jaime del Burgo states that he was with Letizia from 2002 till 2004. Late 2004, around the time that Letizia got pregnant. He has all the receipts, all the pictures, all the audios. He has all of that. And he's willing to back this to the hilt and this guy is a lawyer. So we have to ask, is Leonor Felipe's? Is she the daughter of King Felipe? Because if she's not, that is fraud. Felipe needs to step aside and allow his older sister to be the next queen of Spain, and her eldest son be the next, the crown prince. This is incredible that we're talking about this, but this is where things are. Because with Letizia, everything is dirty. This is a woman who's not pleasant. And according to Jaime del Burgo, in 2002, Letizia talked to her third lover and she punched him. She beat him up. She was incredibly violent. And apparently she's very abusive physically and violent within the zarzuela. She's uber controlling. And from what we've seen, she's managed to separate Felipe from his entire family, citing that she couldn't stand King Juan Carlos because he was cheating on the Queen of Spain, while she's doing it worse because, as per Jaime del Burgo, they never stopped talking. And this is so incestuous, guys, because Jaime del Burgo, he was even at witness in her wedding. He had his own room at the Castle Zarzuela, where he used to have sex with Letizia all the time. This was not a mistake. This is not, we got drunk one night and one thing led to the other and that's it. This was a long planned affair to the point that Letizia wanted to have his child. They talked divorce. She talked that living with him in Florida, she took trips with him to New York. And what is worse, Jaime del Burgo claims that Felipe knew all of that. He states that the reason, I don't know if you guys remember the rumors of when Letizia left Mallorca very early on in 2013, it was citing that, she was having issues with King Juan Carlos, because King Juan Carlos, she couldn't stand that he was a cheater. Apparently, Felipe found out back then that she had an affair with Jaime del Burgo from 2002 till 2004, and that she was still having an affair with him. And she was forced to end it, because this is why she ended the affair, because she was found out. But for 2 years, Jaime del Burgo was coming to Zarzuela, which is the Spanish castle. They were the residence of the king and queen consort. And having sex with her on regular basis, meeting in Greece, meeting in New York, meeting everywhere. And the bodyguards were witness to all of this and said nothing to the king. This is the head of state. The fact that Letizia is screwing men, sneaking men into the castle, having sex with them, should be a matter, because you see, royalty, the king and queen, should be an example that people aspire to emulate. Letizia is not an example that anybody should aspire to be. A woman who's controlling, violent, narcissistic, who is clearly has no moral compass, and who is an avid me first. It's so terrible that apparently King Felipe, and let's not forget that incident with her when the queen wanted to get a picture taken in that church. You guys remember that? And she was just pacing back and forth, trying to block that picture. And it was a huge problem with that. And it was all over the papers. And then she was ordered, she had to kind of like apologize and do a picture thing with her. But this woman is a terrible person. She's not worthy of being the queen consort of Spain. She does not embody any of the values that a queen should embody, that people should look up to, because it takes away respectability, credibility, and Felipe is made look like a fool, like an idiot, like a man who whose wife is screwing around behind his back. Nobody respects him. This is completely unattainable. And the fact that the Spanish press, instead of taking a look at this, asking for a paternity test, because now it's not the youngest one that is a problem here. It's the firstborn. And to make matters worse, because Jaime del Burgo wanted to have like an excuse to hang around Letizia all the time, he married her sister. The marriage only lasted 2 years. But he married Letizia's sister in order to justify being around her and the proximity and being friends with it. He used to take vacations with the king, with Felipe and Letizia and their children. And now Letizia's sister has found out all of this was going on, and Letizia just doesn't care. This woman is now playing the victim. Oh my God, she's not eating, she's getting up. Pilar del Aire, she's a Pilar Aire, she's a Spanish reporter. Oh, poor Letizia. Oh, poor this. Look, she's not the victim at all. She says, oh, she made a mistake. A mistake, as I said, is, oops, we got really drunk one night and I thought he was my husband and we had sex. That was it. No, this was planned. This woman belittled her own husband, the head of state. She has put everything that the Catholic Church, marriage vows, everything is a joke. Felipe is as they said in Spanish, the hazme reír. He is the buffoon of the entire world, because everybody knows that his wife has been having sex behind his back with his knowledge. Whatever, or he tried to pretend that she wasn't there. And now she's claiming that she doesn't want to get divorced because she likes being queen. This is a woman who was once a communist. She said that, the monarchy is irrelevant. But now that she's queen, she has a taste for it and she loves it. Do you beautiful people think that she deserves to be Queen of Spain? Do you think that people should even be feeling sorry for her, when I can guarantee you this woman, if she managed to weather this storm and she still managed to stay in there, she will bring the monarchy down, because nobody will respect that. And Leonor, her daughter, her firstborn, she will always have that cloud over her head. Letizia embodies the worst of a woman. Never mind the worst of a queen, the worst qualities of a woman. Because cheating, lying, being abusive and controlling are not qualities that any woman should aspire to have. But what do you guys think? Is Leonor, who's the father of Leonor, Princess Leonor, the Crown Princess of Spain? Who? And people should be asking these questions. Letizia is a cheating, manipulative, conniving person who has no feelings, no respect for anybody else, only for herself. She's not even thinking how her sister feels. She's not even thinking of her daughters. People are thinking, oh, how Letizia feels. How about her daughters? How about her husband? How about her entire family? How about the sister? People should be thinking how Letizia feels. Everybody should be thinking how the crown of Spain, how the king of Spain is feeling, because everybody's laughing at him. His daughters are in a horrible situation. Her family's put in a horrible situation. Her entire family on both sides. And Letizia, like very good malignant narcissist, has brought division between her husband's family and now her own family. And yet, she's still thinking only about herself and how she feels and how it's impacted her. Shameless woman.